ram, ass, and horse, my Kyrinos, we look over with care, and seek good stock for good to cover. And yet the best men make no argument, but wed, for money, runts of poor descent. So too a woman will demean her state and spurn the better for the richer mate. Money's the cry. Good stock to bad is wed and bad to good, tell all the world's crossbred. No wonder if the country's breed declines, mixed metal, Kyrinos, that but dimly shines. Theognis of Megara on Eugenics and Dysgenics, circa 520 BC. Men are generally more careful of the breed of their horses and dogs than of their children. William Penn. Some Fruits of Solitude, in Reflections and Maxims Relating to the Conduct of Human Life. 1693. It does not, however, seem impossible that by an attention to breed, a certain degree of improvement, similar to that among animals, might take place among men. Whether intellect could be communicated may be a matter of doubt, but size, strength, beauty, complexion, and perhaps even longevity are in a degree transmissible. As the human race could not be improved in this way, without condemning all the bad specimens to celibacy, it is not probable that an attention to breed should ever become general. Thomas R. Malthus. An Essay on Population, 1798. Eugenics is the study of the agencies under social control that may improve or impair the racial qualities of future generations either physically or mentally. Francis Galton, first cousin and associate of Charles Darwin, circa 1883. What nature does blindly, slowly and ruthlessly, man may do providently, quickly, and kindly. As it lies within his power, so it becomes his duty to work in that direction. Sir Francis Galton, 1905. Galton's eccentric, skeptical, observing, flashing, cavalry leader type of mind led him eventually to become the founder of the most important, significant and, I would add, genuine branch of sociology which exists, namely eugenics. John Maynard Keynes. Eugenics Review. 1946. Natural selection must be replaced by eugenical artificial selection. This idea constitutes the sound core of eugenics, the applied science of human betterment. Theodosius Dobzhansky. Heredity and the Nature of Man, 1964. Impregnation will be regarded in an entirely different manner, more in the light of a surgical operation, so that it will be thought not ladylike to have it performed in the natural manner. Bertrand Russell. The Scientific Outlook, 1972. There is no permanent status quo in nature. All is the process of adjustment and readjustment, or else eventual failure. But man is the first being yet evolved on earth which has the power to note this changefulness, and, if he will, to turn it to his own advantage, to work out genetic methods, eugenic ideas, yes, to invent new characteristics, organs, and biological systems that will work out to further the interests, the happiness, the glory of the godlike being whose meager foreshadowings we the present ailing creatures are. Herman J. Muller, 1935, an associate of Sir Julian Huxley. The first century or two of the new millennium will almost certainly be a golden age for eugenics. Through application of new genetic knowledge and reproductive technologies, the major change will be to mankind itself. Techniques such as genetic manipulations are not yet efficient enough to be unquestionably suitable in therapeutic and eugenic application for humans. But with the pace of research it is surely only a matter of time, and a short time at that. Glade Whitney, Reproduction Technology for a New Eugenics, paper for the Galton Institute Conference, Man and Society in the New Millennium, September 1999. There is no denying the natural world would be a better place without people. All people. Not a selective bunch. Get it straight. Rebecca Colisi, student of Eric Pianka. In order to stabilize world population, we must eliminate 350,000 people per day. It is a horrible thing to say, but it is just as bad not to say it. Jacques Cousteau, 1991, UNESCO Courier. Society has no business to permit degenerates to reproduce their kind. Any group of farmers who permitted their best stock not to breed, and let all the increase come from the worst stock, would be treated as fit inmates for an asylum. Some day we will realize that the prime duty, The inescapable duty of the good citizens of the right type is to leave his or her blood behind him in the world. And that we have no business to permit the perpetuation of citizens of the wrong type. The great problem of civilization is to secure relative increase of the valuable as compared with the less valuable or noxious elements in the population. The problem cannot be met unless we give full consideration to the immense influence of heredity. Theodore Roosevelt to Charles B. Davenport, January 3, 1913, Charles B. Davenport Papers, Department of Genetics, Cold Spring Harbor, New York. I wish very much that the wrong people could be prevented entirely from breeding. And when the evil nature of these people is sufficiently flagrant, this should be done. Criminals should be sterilized and feeble-minded persons forbidden to leave offspring behind them. The emphasis should be laid on getting desirable people to breed. Roosevelt, Twisted Eugenics, in the works of Theodore Roosevelt, Opsit, National Edition, 12, pages 201. Political unification in some sort of world government will be required. Even though any radical eugenic policy will be for many years politically and psychologically impossible, it will be important for UNESCO to see that the eugenic problem is examined with the greatest care, and that the public mind is informed of the issues at stake so that much that now is unthinkable may at least become thinkable. Sir Julian Huxley, UNESCO, its purpose and its philosophy. I do not pretend that birth control is the only way in which population can be kept from increasing. War has hitherto been disappointing in this respect, but perhaps bacteriological war may prove more effective. If a Black Death could be spread throughout the world once in every generation, survivors could procreate freely without making the world too full. The state of affairs might be somewhat unpleasant, but what of that? Really high-minded people are indifferent to happiness, especially other people's. There are three ways of securing a society that shall be stable as regards population. The first is that of birth control, the second that of infanticide or really destructive wars, and the third that of general misery except for a powerful minority. Bertrand Russell, The Impact of Science on Society, 1953. Problem makers reproduce in greater percentage than problem solvers, and in so doing cause the decline of civilization. In short, if capable, intelligent people had most babies, society would see its problems and solve them. Elmer Pendle, From Sex vs. Civilization, 1967. Out of the full spectrum of human personality, 1/4 is electing to transcend. 1/4 is ready to so choose, given the example of one other. 1/4 is resistant to election. They are unattracted by life ever evolving. 1/4 is destructive. They are born angry with God. They are defective seeds. There have always been defective seeds. In the past they were permitted to die a natural death. We, the elders, have been patiently waiting until the very last moment before the quantum transformation, to take action to cut out this corrupted and corrupting element in the body of humanity. It is like watching a cancer grow. Now, as we approach the quantum shift from creature human to co-creative human, the human who is an inheritor of godlike powers, the destructive 1/4 must be eliminated from the social body. We have no choice, dearly beloveds. Fortunately you, dearly beloveds, are not responsible for this act. We are. We are in charge of God's selection process for planet Earth. He selects, we destroy. We are the riders of the pale horse, death. We come to bring death to those who are unable to know God. The riders of the pale horse are about to pass among you. Grim reapers, they will separate the wheat from the chaff. This is the most painful period in the history of humanity. Futurist Barbara Marx Hubbard, who wanted to create a Department of Peace,